Seems rather fitting that it's Easter Sunday, or the Festival of Easter 2011. I think it's the 24th today, and I'm here in where I call my Witchy Woods, and it's absolutely beautiful down here. Haven't seen a soul. A couple of rabbits, a fox, birds tweeting away, but 30 years ago this woodland was dead until I started doing my rituals here. And what I'm going to be talking about now are literally spells. Now, when you ask a witch to cast a spell for you, first of all, you've got to have the intent in your own mind that this is exactly what you want. Because sometimes it can happen that you can make a wish for somebody or for something, and you do get that something, and you tend to find that there's some sort of price to pay for it. So, for instance, if you wished for a lot of money, one of your beloved may die, or somebody you know may have an accident and you get insurance money or a will. So really think about that. Making and casting spells, my motto is for need, not for greed. And these people that are going to charge you thousands of pounds to basically put your life right, wouldn't bother. I do spells, genuine ones, for people, and they do work. But I do have to emphasise here, I do them for white reasons only. However, somebody crosses me, it's not always good, let me put it that way. But if you're thinking about love, luck, finance, fertility, overweight, anything like that, then all those sort of things and more are possible. But again, you must really think, if you wish for somebody, you might get them, but you certainly might not get rid of them. So there's always something there that you've got to think about before you ask your loved one back. Once you've got your wish, that's where my work stops, and that is where you have to continue. Let's supposing it's a love spell, for instance, and the ideal person or the person that you wanted back has come back. My spell isn't there to keep it together for you. My spell is there to bring it together for you. You have to do the rest. So be prepared for that. And also be prepared that if you wish for a stranger who you like the looks of, you don't know what quirky sides they might have. On the more positive side, I have done very successful love spells, fertility spells, even spells to, stop places like here in my Witchy Woods, having a road, virtually going very, very close to it, Hastings bypass. And I started ill wishing that, cursing it, you could use that word I suppose, basically because it would destroy countryside and it would destroy the habitat of many, many creatures that live in this beautiful place. As I say, when I first started coming here, there was nothing on the trees, and I just felt drawn to the place. The first time I came here, I think it was about 1980, and I started bringing flowers down and potatoes and things. They've all vanished, they've not come up since, but the whole woodland around me has flourished, and I do believe it's because of the positive thought that I've been putting into this place. Now, how can I help you? Okay, you contact me and you tell me what your wish is. I will then be able to tell you whether it's feasible, whether it's justified, and whether I'm prepared to do it. You can't ever guarantee a certain time scale, because every single spell is different. No two people's relationships are the same, so there's always underlying things. And what you'll find is that if you lie to a witch about the reasons that it all broke up and why you want them back and everything, rather than it coming to you, it will work against you and it will just push you further apart. So you must be totally honest when you're contacting somebody, and you must really think about it. My spells cost between £30 to £75, and I don't ask for more money on top unless some sort of completely different work or method is actually needed. You'll find that I would normally say some spells work very, very quickly. Fertility, for instance, they can work very quickly, because I believe that the spell is like sending out an electrical impulse from up in here and my body to bring about an end result. So it's like transmitting a signal, saying a prayer in other religions, and you bring about the end result. And I do believe that spells can change for a very short time the molecular structure of a person's body. So this is why I believe that females who may have problems with their eggs, males with sperm count, anything like that. I do believe that can be changed, as can people who have kind of gone away from you. But what you've really got to think about is, are you more concerned about your own happiness in having them back, or because basically you're making them come back? They're not coming back of their own accord. A spell will bring people together, that is without a doubt. Then you have to do the work to repair the relationship. And some people don't realise that. When they go along, they think everything's just going to go click overnight and fall into place. And I have had some very, very odd people that I've had to help in the past. In the end, they become a nightmare, they become a burden, and I have to stop working for them. On the phone every minute of the day, is this happening, is this happening, is this happening? And if it's not the phone, it's emails. Yes, sometimes I'm like a social worker, and I can care for people and understand their needs. But other times, I have to think, well, okay, if I'm not going to be able to recharge my batteries, energies like I've come down here to do today and make this little film. I've been here for a couple of hours now, and probably a couple more after, and it's literally to replenish my power supply. And I do believe that because I've given some life to these woods, they do breathe life back into me. So, with all that in mind, if you still want to contact me to have a spell done for you, and it will work, it's not an overnight instant miracle the minute I've done the spell. Sometimes it can take 3 weeks, sometimes a lot longer. As I say, it depends on the circumstances. Typical example, I know a chap who comes to me. He actually beats his wife up, wonders why she runs away, comes to me to get the spell done. She goes back to him, everything's hunky-dory until he loses his temper again, and she has to get away from him. So it's a vicious circle, you see. You have to help the spell along. You have to help me by A, ensuring that you're telling me the exact details, and B, that once you've got your wish, you can cope with it. So, for need, not for greed. The thing about spells also, you can cast them any time of the month, the lead up to the full moon, after the full moon. My most potent time is 3 days after the full moon, so the most special ones, or the ones that are going to be what I judge to be the hardest, are actually left until 3 days after the full moon. But the cycle through the month, I can do things any time. Very popular at the moment, and ones that are working very successfully, are spells for employment. Okay, it's a little way of cheating and getting one up on someone else, but I don't mind doing that to help people, as long as nobody else is put out of a job to put you into it. Love spells, they work and they bond people together. But one thing I always say, once you've got your wish and you're together, you have to do the rest. But don't ever ask me to separate it, because I won't. Your initial wish is what you get stuck with. And these are all the kind of side effects that I'm trying to warn you before you think, okay, I must have this done, I must have it now. It takes careful planning, it takes ritualistic energy from me, it takes a lot of candle making and incenses, crystals, all sorts of different things to actually make this come about. You will get results, but as I say, not an overnight miracle. Could be 3 weeks, could be 3 months. You will get a result, but then, underlined, don't ever ask me to undo a spell I've done, because if you don't like the consequences, i.e. suddenly you realise that you don't love the person as much as you thought you did when you got them back, and you want someone else, I think you'll find it very hard to get rid of the person that you've wished for. Bear it in mind. If you still want to go ahead with spells for love, luck, finance, fertility, weight loss, employment, luck, removing curses, anything like that, it's all possible. Come to me and I will tell you exactly how it works, and this is how it works. You do the asking, I do the spell, you get the results, and then when you've got the results, you deal with them.